Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy JJ here, and today's going to be kind of a sad day because we are going to be saying goodbye to quadratics in vertex form. So go ahead and get all of your tears out, but we're going to move from vertex form and now we're going to transform it into standard form, and we're going to be dealing with things in standard form for a little while after that. So here's a quick unit overview. We started with quadratics in vertex form, and we're pretty much done with that. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to convert from vertex form to standard form. So after today, we're going to be done with that one. And then we're going to go into standard form and then factored form after that. So just a very quick overview of standard form. This is what it looks like. It's ax squared plus bx plus c. The two letters that are kind of the most important here are this A. This A is going to be kind of like that vertical stretch that we've talked about in class, but it determines whether it opens up or down. So if A is going to be positive, it's going to open upwards. If A is negative, and then it's going to be opening downwards. So that's going to be the exact same thing as in vertex form. But now we've got this other letter C on the outside, and this C very easily tells you the y-intercept. And so we're going to be looking at A, B, and C and how those relate to it later on. But the question for now is, how do we get from vertex form, that's your a times x minus h squared plus k, how do we get it to look like that and change it to look like this ax squared plus bx plus c? So we're not going to have any parentheses anymore. Before I answer that awesome question, here's one of my biggest pet peeves. It is squaring binomials. You're going to have to know how to do this. We're going to look at x minus 6 squared. Now, what some of you might think is x squared becomes just x squared. And if you take minus 6 times minus 6, that becomes plus 36, right? No, absolutely not. Please don't ever think that way. Don't do it that way. So x minus 6 squared really means we are taking x minus 6 times x minus 6. And we have to distribute the x to both of those. You've heard of foiling at some point maybe. X times x gives you x squared. X times negative 6 gives you minus 6x. Then we have to distribute the minus 6 to both of them. So minus 6 times x is another minus 6x. And a minus 6 times minus 6 is plus 36. And then you combine the like terms, and we get x squared minus 12x plus 36. So when you square a binomial, you should end up with a trinomial. It has 3 different terms in it. So let's go ahead and do one more together. X plus 12 squared really just means x plus 12, that's a plus, times x plus 12, and if you distribute the x, it's going to be x squared. X times 12 is plus 12x. Then you're going to distribute the 12, so you get another plus 12x and plus 144. And if you end up combining those like terms, we get x squared plus 24x plus 144. So go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and make sure you know how to expand the next 2 binomials. All right, we're back. If you did them correctly, it should be x squared plus 2x plus 1 for that first one, and it should be x squared minus 14x plus 49 for the next one. Now, we're going to get to the point where I don't want to have to show all of these steps up here. To me, that's just wasting our time. We should be good enough at these, or we can just do them in our heads. And so I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do that. If you look at each of these binomials here, that -6 in the final answer just got doubled to figure out the middle coefficient, and it got squared to figure out that last number. And the reason it gets doubled is because you see here -6x, -6x. You add them together, it's a -12x. And it's a 36 here because -6 times -6, positive 36. So we should be able to do these really, really quickly. So it's going to be x squared. If you double the 20, it's going to become 40, so plus 40x. And if you take 20 times 20, that would be plus 400. So that's how quickly and easily we should be able to do it. Let's take the next one. We start with x squared. If you take a -10 and double it, it's going to be minus 20x. And if you take that -10 and square it, it becomes plus 100. You'll notice that this last term always going to be positive. This middle term depends on whatever sign was given in the initial binomial. And one more is going to be x squared. Take 4 and double it, you're going to get 8x. Square it, you get 16. So go ahead and try the next 3 on your own. Pause the video for a second while you give yourself a chance to do that, and then come right back. All right, hopefully you had x squared minus 16x plus 64, x squared plus 22x plus 121, and x squared plus 50x plus 625. That's an x. Okay, so now that we've clarified how to square binomials, and we know, I just want to reiterate this one more time, what you're not going to do ever again. When you see a binomial like this, you are not going to put x squared plus 121. No. We know that there are 3 terms in there. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, now we can go ahead and convert from vertex form over to standard form. So let's take a look at this one. It's given to us in vertex form. If you follow the order of operations, we start with parentheses, but x plus 5, you can't simplify that anymore. We're done with parentheses. Next comes the exponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that x plus 5 squared and rewrite that one. So we start with -3. If we were to expand out the x plus 5 squared, it's going to be x squared plus 10x plus 25. So that's using our new skills that we just found. And then at the end, don't forget plus 60. So we've taken that squared part in the parentheses and we've expanded it all out. Now we're going to take the -3 and we're going to distribute it to everything in the parentheses. -3 times x squared is minus 3x squared. -3 times a positive 10x gives us minus 30x. -3 times positive 25 is -75. And that 60 is off by itself. We don't distribute to it. It's just plus 60. Now at the very end, we still have a couple like terms there that we have to combine. So it's going to be minus 3x squared minus 30x. And if you combine minus 75 with a positive 60, it's minus 15. And this is now your equation in standard form. So we have our A, B, and C. And we'll deal with those letters later when it comes to the quadratic formula and finding the vertex. We'll do one more together. So again, we start with this exponent. So I'll leave the 0.5. If we do x minus 4 squared, it's going to become x squared minus 8x. Minus 4, double it is a minus 8. And then plus 16. And then at the end, we still have -2. So we've expanded that binomial into a trinomial. Now we're going to distribute that 0.5. So we get 0.5 x squared. Half of 8 is a 4, so it's -4x. Half of 16 is 8, so +8, -2. Then just combine your like terms at the end, and we end up with 0.5 x squared minus 4x, and 8 minus 2 is a 6, it's a +6, so +6. And there is your equivalent function in standard form. If you were to graph this one way up here, and you were to graph this one way down here, you would get the exact same graph. So it's the same function, it'll have the same properties, it's just written differently. So go ahead and give yourself a chance to do the next two. Go ahead and pause the video, do the next two, and then when you're done, unpause it, and I will show you the answers for those. All right, welcome back. Answers for the first one was -2x squared plus 36x minus 12. Hopefully. And for the next one, hopefully you got 2.5 x squared plus 10x plus 4. Now, if you took 2.5 and you wrote it as 5 halves, so 5/2, that's fine too. Decimals, fractions, doesn't really matter too much to me. They're the exact same thing. So hopefully now you have a good idea of how to convert something from vertex form, looking like this, into standard form. And then starting with the next lessons, we're going to deal with things in standard form. Have a wonderful rest of your day.